Hey everybody. So I did a video last week where I asked the community, what do you want to know about cash flow forecasting, cash management, budgeting, forecasting, anything related to that sphere. One of the questions that was asked was, could you dispel some of the myths around cash flow forecasting, etc. So this is going to be the first video in that regard. It's kind of a topic that's near and dear to me because I believe the topic cash flow is pretty broad and ubiquitous, and it kind of loses its meaning. So let's start there. But first, coffee. So, what's my problem with the term cash flow? Way too broad. Usually in the accounting industry, when people talk cash flow, they're actually talking about a whole bunch of different things. There's long-term cash flow forecasting, which is say 3 to 5 years out, monthly level, drivers, very strategic. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have short-term cash flow, which is anywhere from now till 12 months from now to 18 months from now. And you're looking at what's the person's ability to pay bills and get cash back and maximize cash returns. Or you're in the case of a distressed company. But even right there, there's a whole lot of different misnomers and labels. I don't know if I said that right, but there's a whole bunch of different labels that you can use for cash flow that people use interchangeably, which I guess then creates misnomers. I'll have to look up that word. And so my problem with the term cash flow is it's just simply too broad. And so I think that's the first myth that I would like to dispel is people need to become really clear on what they're talking about when they're talking cash flow. If I go to a client and I say, let's do a cash flow forecast for you, does that actually mean a strategic forecast? Like, are we looking into the future, looking at strategic growth trends? Or are we looking at the short term where we're saying, look, we need to be able to pay these 10 bills and still have room for this piece of equipment 3 months from now, plus our sales tax return, which is coming due 4 months from now. Those are very, 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 did I mention very, different situations. One's extremely long-term and strategic, very rolled up, not granular at all, and the other one is. And yet we as an industry use the same term interchangeably for both. So I don't know if it's a myth per se, maybe more of a pet peeve, I suppose. But I do believe we as an industry need to be better at describing exactly what we are offering and exactly what we're doing for clients. Because at the end of the day, small business owners don't know that they need a cash flow forecast most of the time. What they do know is that their bank balance is short, or they've got too much money in the bank, or they want to know how much money they need 3 years from now to achieve their dreams. And each one of those terms, each one of those situations, you can use the term cash flow, but they're extremely unique situations. So in a roundabout way, it's maybe a little weird because I'm not actually answering a question per se. This is more just an open dialogue. But I think it's actually really important because a key piece out of any cash flow conversation with anybody, whether it's a peer or a client or whomever, it's really narrowing down your focus because cash flow is super broad. So the whole point out of all of this dialogue is to be a little more descriptive with how you talk about cash flow. If you're focusing on short-term cash flow and cash management, use those terms. If you're focusing on longer-term cash flow, use that term. Or use other terms, create new ones. But I really wish and hope that people stop using just the term cash flow across the board because it's not really helping us as the industry and it's not really helping end clients. And it's not helping small businesses either in terms of understanding what it means or what you can do with it or the different situations that it applies to. So I think that's my ask. I think that's probably about it for this myth buster per se. Hopefully you liked it. If you do, please click the like below, make a comment, and if you have any other questions or items that you would like me to talk about, I've got lots of opinions. Please just put those below as well. We'll be throwing this up on YouTube, and so please follow the channel, subscribe to the channel. Got lots of videos coming out, and would love it if you guys would follow it along and kind of go along the journey with us. Thanks so much. Have a great day.